Just gonna take a whole piece off the old, I guess, musical skill block. I heard this on the radio, so. I forgot I knew how to play the flute. It's been a skill I haven't really tapped into in a long time. Yeah. What do you guys think? Was it cool? Did you get in there? I'm not sure. Whenever I'd be on fires, like, and the weeks were really rough, I would pull out my flute at home and play on my porch while it rained outside. I don't know. I can't get my life figured out. It's I don't know. I never thought about recording myself playing. It just never occurred to me. I don't know. It was a long year this year. It was a very long year. And it's not over yet. We still have a long ways to go. We're all just in the middle of a transition in our lives. It feels like 2019 has been just so, I don't know, just hard in general. And sometimes it feels like I take, a few steps forward, but more backwards. You think you know what you want sometimes, but we don't really know until we get there. And it's scary and confusing. But at the end of the day, you got to know it's going to be okay. If it wasn't, all this trial and tribulation would be all for naught. It would be long suffering with no real means to an end or no reward at the end of the day. But that's not how the world works, You'd like to think that in general good people experience good things, but it's not always the case. A lot of the good people around us go through so much more than what meets the eye, the average eye. And we try to pretend that we're okay, but we're not. Sometimes you ignore all the byproduct of an action done upon you. If someone doesn't follow through with a promise they made to you, or if they don't follow through with this maybe plans or a word they said, maybe they said they'd cover you one day and they don't, you brush it off like it's nothing. But in reality, it takes a blow on your level of trust with that person and your level of overall camaraderie or companionship. We can't continue to go day to day pretending that, we're fine when we're not sometimes. It's okay to feel like you don't have everything figured out. Like, it's okay to feel distant or lost. Don't deprive yourself from this world, because you make the world a better place whether you know it or not. You're a part of something bigger, and don't ever doubt your self-worth. Don't ever settle for less. Don't ever discount or discredit yourself from all the progress you've made so far. I'm not too sure where I was going with this, but make the best of tomorrow. At the end of the day, which is today, it may have sucked, it may have been long, it may have been hard, it may have been stressful, and that's just part of the human condition. We stress, we have hard times processing emotions and thoughts. We struggle with understanding what means what and who means who. Whose intentions are more valuable than someone else's or anything. And it's just, you can't like pretend it doesn't take a toll on you, but it does. And it's okay to feel that way. It's okay to feel like you're mentally and emotionally depleted, because that's normal. It's just unnatural to acknowledge it, because society wants you to be, this way, a certain way. Only if you choose to let yourself be subject to that. So communicate your feelings and your discontent with something that someone does. Like, it doesn't hurt. It might hurt for a little bit, but you'd rather somebody be honest with you and upfront and not trying to front or trying to pretend that they feel a certain way when in reality they don't. The things that keep us up at night, yeah, they're on our minds, and they do bug us, and they do take a toll on our mental health. Don't deny it, but what you have to do is find out the solution to the issue in your life. If it's like too intimidating to approach or to fathom mentally, you get scared and you put it on the back burner. We can't continue to ignore the problems at hand. You got to deal with them on the forefront. You have to deal with them. You can't deny them. You can't be afraid that other people are going to judge you or look at you a certain way because you don't have the right answer to a problem. Maybe you can lean on somebody with more experience. Maybe someone has experienced the issue that you're dealing with right now. And, you're afraid to ask for help because you don't want to look like you don't know what you're doing. But sometimes it's okay to not know what you're doing. That's us. That's us trying to figure things out in the world. That's us trying to observe, record information in our head, process it, and apply, certain behaviors or methods to it, because, that's what we're basing it off experience or similar situations. But if you encounter a new situation, or, something that you never thought you would encounter again, you might panic. But learn to keep your focus and to do your best to try to understand a situation, analyze it, and think about the pros and the cons, what the possible outcomes might be, and then go for it, because you're not going to learn if you don't try, especially if it's something new or something unfamiliar, or something that may have happened to you in the past to where it resulted in something so wrong you never want to try again. It's time to, put your big girl or big boy pants on and see what you can do about it, and to try. Bottom line, there's no try, there's can and can't. Or how did Yoda say it? I don't remember. You do or don't. Don't procrastinate, because you never know when you'll never have that opportunity again. Dude, does all this make sense? I don't know if I was making sense. I just think I was talking for a super long time. Okay, well, let's go back at it. Let's see. I don't know. Yeah. What's everybody doing tonight? I got school in the morning. You know what I might do? I might take that flute to college tomorrow and sit in the garden and play. Because that's who I am. I shouldn't be afraid to be who I am. Who I become and who I'm going to be. What is that essential piece that makes you who you are? That defines you, that you hold so close? Do you tuck it away because people might think that's weird or strange, or that's not the flow of things right now? You shouldn't be afraid to be who you are inside and present it outward, because you might light up someone else's day. But, we live and we learn until we get it right in our minds, then we'll approach it how we see fit. But, sometimes you might not know. But you should just do it anyways, because you'll always be living with that regret. Whatever happens, happens. And it's going to happen whether you like it or not. That's what I'm dealing with right now. Whether you like it or not, it's going to come to pass. whether you do something about it or you just let it do whatever it's going to do, because that's the path it was already on before you approached it, you know. You guys have any like questions about anything in general, like presenting topics that I can talk about? I'll try to give you as much feedback as I can. Nothing. Like, how do you guys usually deal with day-to-day problems that you might encounter? Like, what are some of your guys' methods or examples? How does like your brain process that? Are there some things you're too afraid to speak your mind on, or a topic about that you might not be all that comfortable with? Just think about it. Is there anything that you're not sure about that you maybe want some insight on? Music helps you? Same. I forgot I had this. I forgot I had this talent. I play the piano too, but being an adult, you have to face all these incoming, I guess you would say, like, things that stimulate all the areas of your brain to where you don't use all the stuff you used to enjoy. Like maybe when you were little and growing up, you'd always go to the river or the lake or something with your dad or your cousin. And now that you're an adult and you're full of debt and financial obligations and trying to make ends meet, you don't have the time to sit back and enjoy the normal things that you normally enjoy. Like this, I used to sit on top of a mountain when I lived in Humboldt County and play this on top of it. It's called Strawberry Rock. And when I'd have a rough day at work, I'd go to the top of that mountain. It was like 30-minute, 35-minute, if that, hike to the top. Like, that was my coping mechanism. That's what helped me think, and that's what helped me figure out different things day to day. Sometimes that's all you need, is a little getaway. Things that speak to you on your own level, whether it makes sense to the next person sitting next to you, like, or not. That's what makes your brain tinker. That's what gets your get your rocks off. It makes you feel good. It releases the endorphins, and that's all that should really matter at the end of the day. Because in reality, it should. Who cares? What other people think. Yeah, Humboldt's a beautiful place. I think that's why in here I always feel like I'm so far away from home. Even though I was born and raised in Madera, like, I've never felt at home here. I've really felt like, I know a place. I've been there, I've seen it, I've tasted it, I've lived it. And I would do anything to get back there, because that's where it felt like home. Madera, it seems like I'm trapped and I can't escape. And it's taxing because that affects everything else day to day. My relationships with my coworkers, the way I perceive my job, I'm always going to resent it because it's not where I want to be. Maybe my family, I'm taking a step back, but now I'm taking a step forward and trying to be a better person in my little sphere of influence, like history. Problems are going to come and go, and they're going to beat you up and kick you while you're down. But don't let it defeat you, because, you're in this life for the long haul. And if you back out, you're only going to be failing yourself. You shouldn't. You shouldn't fail yourself because you're all you've got. You are all you have sometimes, and God has you too, and you should really just see it through, because it'll pass. Sometimes you got to be your own motivation and your own best friend. Because, like I said, at the end of the day, sometimes you are all you have to rely on and to fall back on. But if you meet those genuine people who are genuinely wanting to be in your life, you do whatever you can to salvage those relationships. But for all you know, they've already checked out, and you've still don't know, you are, in denial about it, or you're just oblivious to the fact that they're done. You never know when the last time you see a person is going to be that last time. You really hope that in your heart and in your mind you didn't mess it up or make a mistake to drive them away. But, you've got to face the reality of it. Face the music. Because if you don't, it's going to face you. And you're not even going to be ready for it. Yeah. That's all I've got for today. Peace.